This is Dover from DarthHater.com, and we're here at PAX East 2011, and I'm here with
Stephen Reid.
And Stephen Reid, what do you do for BioWare for the people that just came to the site and don't know you yet?
I'm the community manager, and if you just came to Darth Hater and you don't know me, I'm sad.
Fair enough. We got to talk with you at the Jedi Immersion event, right when you were officially joining with BioWare. Now it's been a few months. How do you feel being the CM for Star Wars: The Old Republic? Is it what you expected? Is it not what you expted?
Yeah, I mean it's what I expected, up to the point that it's crazy. It's kind of on a level of crazy that I didn't expect. Just in size terms, that's all. You know, every day it's kind of like, yeah, there's a lot of people out there, you know, but that's okay. I'm learning to deal with it.
We hear a lot about the scope of the game being massive. It looks like the fan community and everything that you're dealing with is on the same par, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So you were focusing really heavily on making sure that the developers had an active voice on the forums, and this is something we've seen to the point where we had to create a whole new thread called Developer Tracker just because there was so much text showing up. Really great involvement with the community. How is that working with the devs? Are they a lot happier to have that voice, or how does it feel, and what type of response are you getting from the community for that interaction?
I mean, I seem to be getting a pretty good response, which I'm glad about. The funny thing is like there wasn't really like a book of policies that I got when I joined the job. It was just like, okay, here you go, and I was like, all right. So we have a dev tracker, then I guess we should use that. We should have devs talking in it. So I didn't really kind of go on a crusade internally and say like, whoa, we must talk more. It's just that, you know, people talked, and then, you know, when they found that we were putting the posts through and they were seeing the response that they were getting, then they started posting more. You know, I take it seriously. Like, you know, I make sure that they post. I try and make sure that we have at least, you know, a dev post, you know, kind of at least once a week if we can do it. I know that sounds funny because people will be like, once a week? There's loads more than once a week. But yeah, you know, I mean, honestly, like, you could go back into the archives, and there was a point probably in January or so where I sort of essentially held my hands up and was like, yep, mea culpa, haven't been paying enough attention to you guys, going to try and do that. So that's kind of where it kicked off. And that was purely because I was just finding my feet, you know, and getting everything together. And I was moving as well. I was moving from California to Austin, so. So yeah, you know, it's been something that I've really endeavored to try and, you know, get going, and will continue to do that. It's not going to go away. And yeah, I mean, I hope people find it useful. And obviously the important thing for us is to make people aware of the fact that the dev tracker exists. And then, you know, going forward, we obviously want to try and include that kind of information in Friday updates. So, you know, we're trying to do, I'm not going to say actually. I'm going to get held to it if I say whatever. I am trying to do more stuff that feels similar to what I do in a dev tracker on the Friday update side. So that there's something on the website for people who don't necessarily, you know, jump into the forums. Anyway, we're trying our best.
Fantastic. Actually, there's been a great response. We've seen a lot of people have been very happy with that dev involvement.
Yeah, I'm glad.
So, Friday updates. We were talking before about how every single week it was insane that they had done so many, and you guys are keeping up with that to the point where we're even getting updates not on Fridays. On a Wednesday. How is the guild being received from what you guys are seeing from the community, and how are all the guilds being made? Is there a good response to it, or?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. I don't know the number right now. I need to find out the number. I'm sorry I don't have it. Because we're doing a presentation about it later today, and we wanted to go, and this many guilds have been created, so I don't know the exact number. It is in the several thousands. The search tool right now is actually not returning every single guild. So players who are like searching for all guilds and then coming up with a number, that's wrong. I believe it's higher than that. So yeah, it's been received great, which is awesome. You know, we've been working on it for quite a long time. So, you know, really glad people like it.
And so going beyond the whole number being wrong, is there anything about the guild setup that maybe you don't think people are getting, or maybe that they don't know, that you'd like to parlay?
I will say you should read the guild FAQ. We spend a lot of time on the guild FAQ. Please read it. We're getting a lot of posts and a lot of emails and PMs from people who haven't read it. And they have questions, and I'm like, it's right there. You know, it's a big FAQ because there's a lot of stuff involved, and you know, there's a lot of things to explain. But it's there, so you know, please read it. That's why we made it.
So there we go. If you have questions about the guild, check out the FAQ first. Is there anything else? We asked you before back in November. Is there anything you'd like to say to the community at this convention while you're stressed and dealing with so many different things at one time?
Stressed? Do I look stressed? Not stressed. No, I mean, the game is coming along just fine. And we're gearing up and getting ready to continue our content plan through till our release at whatever point that may be. And yeah, we're really excited to share Tural 5 for the first time. It's the first time that anyone has played Flashpoints. Anyone. They weren't played in game testing. In fact, essentially, everybody here is part of the game testing program right now because we're going to be looking at the metrics from this Flashpoint and then taking those back to the developers. So yeah, I mean, I want people to feel that the game is a multiplayer MMO, you know what I mean. And that's why we did this. When we sat down to come up with the show, and I sort of came up with some of the early ideas, I was like, we have to do a multiplayer demo. It has to be a long demo. It can't be like a 15-minute thing. It needs to be like a decent size and length. And that has meant now that we have like 7-hour queues at the back of the booth, and I'm really sorry if you waited for 6 hours. I'm going to go talk to those guys at the back of the queue. But that was the aim. That was really important. I kept, we've heard this. We've heard things about people's perception of the game, and we wanted to say no. It's multiplayer. It's an MMO like other MMOs. Has multiplayer features. Works quite well in that way. So that was kind of the point. And I hope people are happy with what they see. And I've just realized, of course, yeah. So you're talking about Friday updates and everything else. What the hell? We're having a Saturday update. We got something going up tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Are you going to get this up before then?
Yes, apparently we will.
No, I'm not going to spoil it. But it's related to Tural 5.
Fantastic.
I think people are going to like it. You're not going to have to work too hard to figure it out, but it's something that people have been asking for consistently for quite a long time. And no, it's not a release date. But yeah, we're having an update tomorrow. So.
And you mentioned just a second ago, release date. You were on stage just a minute ago with some clarity for everyone about the release date.
Yep.
What would you like to say to everyone about who's following the game and all the hubbub with the release date that's going on?
So the important thing to understand is that BioWare is a development studio, and EA is a publisher, and LucasArts is our partner. We're all 100% committed to making the highest quality game we possibly can, and that means we're not going to rush it. We're going to get it right. We're committed to extremely high level of quality service, extremely high level of quality game. So that means the game will be done when it's done. The release date window that we have right now is, as everybody knows, I'm sure on Darth Hater's side, March 31st to December 31st. In other words, the reason that date was pulled wasn't for fun. It was because that's the end of EA's fiscal year, and the reason that date was announced was because it was being announced to investors who like to know about things like fiscal years. So that's the reason they talk in that way. It's not some secret code. It's just an investment thing. So that's the stated release date, and that's what we're gonna move forward and aim to hit.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us, and to all the fans in the community out there.
No problem.
Keep up the great work.
Thank you.